What is up, everybody?
Hi.
What is up, everybody? Hey. Hey. What's up, everybody? All right, so
I hit it.
I want to. Oh Lord. But first, I want to say, by the looks of this title, you already know that today we will be telling our love story for you guys. How we met and
All that.
everything. How we met to actually
Our friendship.
our friendship to us being together. So yeah, we're gonna be telling that. But before we get into the story time, I want to say, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button to become a part of the family, the Benson family, baby. Also, make sure you turn on your post notifications for a shout out at the beginning of our videos. So all you have to do, once you see subscribe, right next to it is a bell. Hit that bell, go to notifications, click on. After that, go down to the comments, say done. I'm done. And once
That's
you're
it.
done, we will shout you out.
Yeah. We want to hear from you guys. We love it.
Exactly.
We love it. And to the first timers that are here just now seeing us, welcome.
What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Benson fam.
Welcome to the Benson fam.
And that's that. So now, time to tell that story, baby.
Story time.
Okay.
So where to start? Like where
to start?
Where do we
Okay,
begin?
first of all, I want to say it was a nice summer eve, and I looked at her, she looked at me, I looked at her, she looked at me, I looked at her, I said, so, she said,
You wish.
oh my God, I said,
And I just melted, huh? Just,
yeah, just, and that was history.
Oh, somebody, give me some water. No.
I'm just
That's
kidding, I'm
not
just
how it
kidding.
started. Oh my
You share one
goodness.
like that?
Huh?
You share one like that?
Maybe in your dream or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you imagine it.
I don't know.
Goofy. Oh, good
I'm
lord.
gonna call it a different way, huh? All right, but
Well, I think, how do I always say this? Because I remember we both remember the first time we spoke to each other. The very first time.
yeah, we definitely remember that. That's something that we not
Yeah,
gonna forget.
never
Like
forget.
that, we can't forget it. All I know is that from the time that we first started talking to each other, that was like, it was instant connection. It was crazy.
But you know what? You know how we're gonna do this? Dude, it's always two sides to a story. We're gonna do his side, then we're gonna do her side.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna do it like that. So I'm gonna go first. All right. Pretty much. Man, where did I start? Okay, so me and her have been working at the same place for some years. Before we even knew each other, but we worked at each other and we would see each other a couple of times. I saw her before, she saw me before, but we never spoke. And the moment that I saw her, and I asked the guy, I was like, hey man, like, who's that girl over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, who's that? She got her, she's fine, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, oh, he knew her name and everything like that. So I was like, damn. Like, well, we got a thing called first, second, and third shift, and
I was on first shift.
she was on. No, you were on third shift at this time.
I was on third?
When I first saw you on third. So third is pretty much overnight shift. Second was
Oh.
during the day. So every time we would see each other, I would be coming in. No, I would be leaving out and she'd be coming in. So once I asked the guy, I said, hey bro, like, who was that girl? She fine. He was like, that's Maya. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay. Then he was like, but she pregnant. And at this time, she wasn't, I guess people knew, but she wasn't like showing nothing like that. And yeah, a couple months. And I was like, what? And I kind of thought he was just playing with me. I'm like, man, you just probably don't want me to holler at her or
5
whatever.
days later.
And then I was like, all right, whatever. Then we still didn't talk. And then finally I saw her and stomach was out. And I was like, damn. I said,
I got big and I was pregnant.
Dang,
Big.
she pregnant, you know, and you know, coming from my perspective, a guy like me that was obviously single, and then I don't have any kids of my own. So me seeing that she was pregnant, I was just like, ah man, I don't know. You know, like that was an instant like any man in my position would have been like, okay, well, you know, it is what it is, you know. Like, I didn't know her situation and like that, and I was like, you know what, okay, it is what it is. So that was that, and then fast forward, right? So at this time, me personally, I'm going through a change of my own. Okay, so the people that know me know, but for everybody that's viewing me for the first time, the newcomers, okay, so I was actually not like this. I did not look anything like this. I was pretty overweight, and then I lost a lot of weight, right? So I was just really big, and then I ended up losing weight and putting on muscle and this and that, cause like the gym is a thing I love to work out with it. So once I changed up and everything. So at this point, when I was big, I rarely really talked to females like that. I did, but like, you know what I'm saying? It was
You
just
told
like,
me you
it
had
was.
game still.
I kind of had game, but like, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, whatever. I was that big fat. I was a fat dude. Fat dude, whatever. I was like, I was a big dude. And then I started to change up, right? So at this point, I'm coming up. She had moved to first shift already. And I had moved to first shift because I just wanted more of the day. I wanted more time in the day. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna work, you know, first shift. Ended up working first shift, and I saw her, right? And at this time I had already changed up. And it was crazy because whenever I had, you know, noticed that she was in first, I was kind of like in a situation where, you know, I was big and then I got smaller, and everybody wanted to like
Talk to him.
Everybody wanted
he lost weight here, but it all went to his head.
Everybody wanted to go out with me. They wanted to party, club with me. Everybody was like, you know, I was just doing stuff. I was out there, whatever.
Busy.
And I was out there. And anyway, so with all of that being said,
and I wasn't pregnant.
Yeah, she wasn't pregnant.
Not pregnant.
Yeah, she wasn't pregnant.
Make that clear.
Yeah, that was it. And I saw her, and like I was just like, oh, that's her, you know, whatever. I was like, she cute, you know, whatever. I saw
And I
her.
had blonde hair.
And then we talked for the first time. So we talked for the first time, and it was just like instant like sparks, just like it was crazy. It was like, you just know when you talk to that right person, and the energy just bounce off each other, and it's just like, wow, like it's just crazy. And that's exactly what happened when the first time we talked. But mind you, at this time, I'm already doing my own thing, you know, and I met her, and I'm like, man, you know, and then, you know, she got kids and stuff. So I'm like, I kind of like, I didn't know how to really handle that. I didn't know how to handle it. I knew I liked her. She liked me. She liked me.
Look,
And I knew I liked her.
I'm a touch base on that whenever it's my turn to tell the story.
I liked her. She liked me, and that was that. But you know, after all of that, after that we just became friends. We became friends because I wasn't ready. And the fact that I wasn't ready, I was just like, I still can't have you out of my life.
Tell him
Like,
the first time when you realized you had.
the first time that I realized that I had feelings for her, okay, so we love music. I don't know. And one day we were just like together, and we just started like talking about songs. And I talk about songs I like.
Going back and forth,
just
like,
singing.
oh, that's my song. That's my jam.
Yeah. Like, mind
What
you,
you know about that?
and that's how it went. Like, we just like, and I was just like, man, I was like, she real cool. Like, that's exactly what I said.
I was singing a song, and I serenaded him.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Okay, you bugging. You bugging. Okay, so one time, actually, it was funny because it's a song called I Wanna Be Your Man. I wanna be your man, whatever. And one time, like, we were singing this song, and then I came up to her and I was like, I wanna be your man. You know?
no, it's because I was singing the song. I was like, I wanna be your man. And I had it stuck in my head, and I was like, man, I got that song stuck in my head. And he was walking past me and just stopped and said, I want you. Yo, man. I was like, and the women made it worse. Everyone around, because we was at work, everybody around us was just like, oh my goodness. I was like, I'm trying to breathe, you guys.
And you know, yeah, once I did that, she was just like,
that was it. I was like, oh man,
yeah,
I gotta figure something out.
That was game. It was over. That's all I had to do. I said, I looked at her, she looked at me. I looked at her, she looked at me. I said, I want to be your man. Baby, I want to be your man.
You are.
I am. And that was literally how I see it. And then it just leaded up to us being really great friends, and we became best friends. And you know, I think that's really just amazing of how our relationship worked, because before we actually became a couple, we were best friends. And that carried on for a while, and then we finally got together whenever I became ready, because I took everything in consideration, and I was like, okay, I love you enough to go ahead and be the man I need to be. And that's exactly what happened, and we got together, and we're together, and we are totally in love.
Happier than ever.
So that's my story.
That's his side. Now everybody that knows me knows that I love to tell a good story, and this is the best story that I got. Well, it's my favorite. But okay, so here's my side. He started working, you know, he became a co-worker.
Good job.
And I immediately noticed him, right? But my first thought was, because where we work, it's not really that interracial. And so I was like, ooh, black guy. And I was like, ooh, he kind of cute. But you know,
Ain't too many
I had
brothers
prior
that work there.
engagements, so I was, what'd you say?
Ain't too many brothers that work at that.
No, it's not. So I was like, man, he cute, but you know, I'm pregnant. I can't do nothing about it. It's whatever. I wasn't tripping. And I would notice him all the time. And where he worked, the people that he worked with, he was always laughing and having a good time. And that's how I was on my shift. And everybody's like, man, she's so loud. And I'm just like they look like they having fun too. I would love to join them. And we actually spoke to each other, but like from a distance. Like he was singing a song, and I started singing it too. And you and the other guys were singing it. And he doesn't remember. He don't remember nothing. But I remember everything, you guys. That's why my story is different from his story. That's why. But so I started singing, and they were all like, hey, and I was like, hey, and then it was cool. And I was just like, oh my God, we had a connection. But it's okay. It was whatever. And it wasn't that big of a deal, because he doesn't remember, obviously. And then I did actually start to notice him gaining weight and stuff, but that wasn't a big deal to me, because I actually think he was still kind of cute, you know, even without that weight on.
I mean, I still was cute, you feel me? It's just bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's more of you to love. You know, so if you want to get that back.
No, it's not happening. That little money's gone.
And he had hair. He had a ponytail. Yeah, I love it. I've been trying to get him. If we can get this video to 1,000 likes, he'll grow it back.
Yeah, if we get to 1,000 likes, I would definitely go back.
In a month.
Yeah,
For real,
we're gonna put that out there.
But okay, so and then I had my baby. I had my Lorenzo. By that time, I had Layla and Lorenzo. You know, and I was on maternity leave. And while I was on maternity leave, I came to a meeting, and he was actually at the meeting. And this was after he had lost all of his weight. And I was like, oh my God, this guy, like, this was me. I was sitting there already, and I was like,
I was coming in clean.
I immediately pulled out my phone and texted my friend. I was like, ooh,
Everywhere I walked in, I was just like,
I don't know his name, but this guy from the other shift is here, and and I was so excited. I was just like, man, he's so cute, but whatever. I still ain't do nothing about it, you know, because I'm like, I'm a mommy now. I need to focus on the kids, whatever. But he did see me though. He doesn't remember. I said, I don't remember everything about this. I just love you so much. I knew that we would, if we would have spoke to each other ever, I've always known that we were gonna be something if we ever spoke to each other. But we were both just, God was waiting for us to be ready for each other. That's all it was.
That was right.
Because we weren't ready yet.
Yeah.
So then we had that, and then I came back to work, and then that's like I was at work for like a few weeks, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after my maternity leave, and we had to work together. They put us to work together side by side, and we still didn't talk, but I spoke to him because he was falling asleep. And we're at work, so I'm like, ooh. And I was very well known. I am very well known for keeping people awake at work because I love to talk. I'm always talking. And so, excuse me. I was talking to him, and come to find out, he likes to talk too. So we were just two talkative people talking. Talking about talking. And at one point, like he had to wear a beer cover, and I didn't know that he was still talking. And he was talking like this, and his voice is so deep, and it blended in with the sounds. He was like, and I was like, I'm doing my stuff, and then I'm like, oh, he's still talking. I was like, what? And I had to act like I heard what he said, but I didn't hear what you said when you were talking. I'm sorry. I love you though. But so that right there was the first time we spoke. So yeah, that was that, and after that moment, that was it. I knew that if we hung out outside of work, like we were gonna really get along, because just by how I could tell how well we were getting, because it was like when we spoke to each other, we just knew each other. Like, and finally I ended up hanging out with him outside of work, and I was just like, man, this guy's too cool. Like, and I felt I'm such a nerd. I'm just like, man, this cool guy likes me. What?
Yeah, that's.
I'm not.
Yeah, and then it was history from that. Once we hung out, it was history. Everything became history, which is like us being real good friends and us just steady liking each other. It was like, you know, as the closer that we got, the more we liked each other, and it eventually elevated. It elevated to the point where we had to, like, we got to get this in the trial. We have to,
because it was just,
it's no way. You know?
When we were just friends, you know. Like, after we spoke to each other for the first time, we would always have these moments where we were sitting across the room, you know, and the room is big, and we would just accidentally catch eyes. Like, we'd just be looking around.
And just having to look at each other.
Like, it's so funny, like, we do the same stuff, you know, while we're doing all that.
All watery.
Yours too.
But, it's just, but it was an awesome, it's been awesome.
Yeah. It was
definitely
fun
something that
in
you
love with him. Okay, so there is one thing though, like me having kids, I knew that it would be very hard for me to date other people, you know, and a lot of women have that issue, and you never know when you're gonna meet that right person, the person that is, you know, willing to take on you and your kids, because we are a package deal. And I knew that we were gonna be together, and he knew that he wanted to be with me, but he just wasn't ready yet to be with me. He wasn't ready to take it all in, you know, at one point, you know, at one time. And I had to be patient for him. You know, I knew it though, but it was okay. Like, I wasn't.
It was just a point where, I mean, anybody in this position, anybody in a position like mine, you know how just how much first pressure, because you have to be ready. I mean, you can't get into something like this. You can't jump into something like this and be like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot, I'm gonna get out. Because once you're in it, you gotta take in other emotions in consideration. Because I can't just take on hers. It's hers and the kids. Because I'm not about to just be around her. I mean, I'm gonna be around all of them, right? So, because I loved her so much, but I did have those thoughts when I was just like, man, like, because I didn't know if I was ready. And I was just like, I don't know if I should do it. And that's what had me go back and forth. And it was like a situation where the very first time we had, we stopped talking at one point. Before we actually got together, we stopped talking at one point. And she stopped talking to me because...
But I just want to say the reason I stopped speaking to him is because I realized I felt like I was forcing you. You know, like, I'm just like, you know what? I feel like I'm being a little too pushy. if I just give him some space and he realizes that he really wants to be with me like that, then he will come to me, you know, like he will. And so I was like, when he told me, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it, you started talking to somebody, and I was just like, you know what, all right, well, I'm gonna just distance myself from you. Cause I already knew if we would have been cool, we would have been close at that point, then he down. I don't even want to say what would have happened. Because yeah. Anyway, so I was just like, I'm gonna just distance myself from you. And he was like, okay. And he didn't realize that I was already meaning that I'm just gonna stop talking to him. I cut him off completely, stopped texting him, stopped speaking to him at work. I didn't even look at him, and that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
And she completely cut me off. It was crazy because every time I would see her, she wouldn't look my way, and I would just be like, wow, you know. And I mean, you know, I'm the type of guy that I was like, I understand where she's coming from, so I was just like, you know, to myself, like, man, like, I was like, kind of hurt a little bit hurt. I was like, damn, it's crazy.
Me too.
And I was like, you know what, like, it is what it is. And I was like, I already knew what it was.
While I wasn't talking to him, and I wasn't doing anything really. I was just focusing on myself and my kids, you know, and trying to get everything together, my life together, really. And while I wasn't talking to him, I knew he was changing. He was developing into the man. Oh.
You could believe it.
I'm sorry, I cry all the time. He was developing into the man that I needed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He was developing into the man that I needed in my life. And now you can say what you're about to say. Okay.
But yeah, so and that's what was going on. The moment that we stopped talking, it was the moment that I was actually changing, and I changed a lot. I changed my whole mindset altered. It was more like, instead of me thinking about the now, I was thinking about my future, and I was like, I want you to be in my future. I want it when I look a few years, when I look 5-10 years into my future, I want you to be right by my side. And once I thought about that, and I was like, I love you enough to take on everything to get into it. I'm ready. And I let her know. I was like, I'm ready. I never thought that I would need someone. You know, it's like the type of thing where you just like, it's plenty of fish out there. It's plenty of fish out in the sea. And you know, me growing up, how I was raised was like, you know, it's always somebody there. If it doesn't work out here, you can, you know, it's somebody there, here and there. And it's a different story whenever you meet that person that you actually are drawn to. That's your soulmate. That's somebody that you know that you would need. And for me, I had told her, I was like, I've never told anybody that I need them. And I need you. Like, I need you in my life. I need you a part of my life. And once I let her know that, I was like, I'm ready. Like, I don't know how much I can stress to you, but I'm ready. She told me, she was like, I don't know.
Like, I knew he was ready, but I was like, he switched up so much. I was just like, I literally told him, give it 2 weeks, okay? Don't talk to me for two more weeks, and tell me how you feel. And he was just like, no, I can't do it. I can't do 2 more weeks without you.
I knew it. I was like, I'm ready. I was like, just take my word for it. And I was like, you know what?
He said, let me prove it to you.
I was like, I could show you better than I could tell you. I'm letting you know right now, but I'm gonna show you.
And he sure did.
And
and that's why I cried, because y'all don't understand how happy I am. I'm gonna cry again. Like, I've been through some stuff. And he's like my superhero. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really trying not to do this. But I'm just so happy the man that you've become, like, for real. Yeah. Like, he's really, I don't want to talk no more.
Nah,
you do so much more than, you know, what you should, and I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah, and that's that. And I mean, now we're together and we're happier than ever.
We live together.
And this is it. This is it.
It's it forever.
This is it.
This is the best.
And one thing that we did want to like kind of make a point to everybody out there, you know, viewers, you know, you guys watching us, is pretty much that your person is out there.
Yeah.
Your person is out there. Your perfect match is out there. I promise
They
you.
are there.
It's just
waiting
that
for you.
sometimes they come unexpectedly, and what you don't want to do is force it. Cause it literally just comes, and it comes natural. You have that conversation with somebody, and it'll be like sparks, and
And
you would just know.
sometimes you've already met that person that you're meant to be with. They're just not ready for you yet. They're just not ready. They need their time. Maybe you may not be ready, because I knew he wasn't ready when we first met, or when we wanted to be with each other, but I wasn't ready either. But when we finally got together, it was like we were ready to start. And so now we're gonna build. We're gonna build each other up, like even more than we already
Grow
have.
together.
Grow together, build an empire. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're gonna keep doing forever. And that's why we want you guys to join in on us building our empire.
That's why we want you guys to kind of experience our journey with us.
Enjoy it.
It's so many moments in our lives that we're gonna share with you guys.
Yeah, so many.
So many moments.
many.
And
When I become a dentist.
yeah, you will be. But that was a story, guys. That was a story time.
That's our love story.
That's our love story. Hope you guys enjoyed hearing us. And my baby crying.
I know. I'm sorry, you guys. I cry all the time. Like, if somebody would be laying in bed and I'll just be like, I love you so much. He's like, are you crying again? Yeah. Like, baby.
Yeah.
Like, I hate doing it, but I can't help it. I just be so happy. But with all that being said,
make sure you guys like us, give us a thumbs
subscribe.
up.
And even
subscribe to us, be a part of our family.
y'all can even, give us more suggestions of stories that y'all want to hear from us.
Yeah. If you guys
like
want
first
some more
time
stories.
for this, first time.
Yeah,
for that,
exactly. Story
whatever.
time will be a
Like,
thing. With all of that being said, it's all about the Benson's, baby. 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 It's all about the hey.
Here's Layla and Lorenzo. Say hey. Look, baby. Say hey. Say hey. Layla, say hey, people.
Say hey, mama. Hey.
Say hey. Say tell her to say hey.
Say hey, mama.
Hey.
Look, let me see your hand, baby. Look, do this.
Go get it.